My name's John Wilson. I'm a Zimbabwean and I'm an active member of AFSA, an honorary member, an individual member, and also chair of the citizens group in AFSA. I think it's been interesting how it's a program that's evolved, it's come together, and it's really rallied around the name My Food is African. And that came up in a meeting actually at the end of a day. But I think it grew out of all that came before. We started out by wanting to define what do we mean by agroecological nutrition. Nutrition is a world that's dominated by a lot of academic literature and not really accessible to ordinary people. So our aim was to make agroecological nutrition, to define it and make it available to ordinary people. So we chose the Barefoot Guide as a format, which uses stories, quotations, and illustrations in order to help people really understand. So as we were producing the book, we realized we don't just want a publication, we want to go further than that. So that's when we began talking about making use of the book. And then that led into a discussion around the campaign. And the name grew out of, well, that particular day we'd been really discussing many different things, and then suddenly someone said, "My food is African," as a name, and everybody knew that was right, because it tapped what we'd been talking about for a long time. Well, the why is because in many ways it's a fairly low-hanging fruit. The thing about traditional foods, and it's not just within Africa, you go all over the world, traditional foods, diets, cuisines are all healthy. They're evolved over hundreds of years through trial and error and so on, and what grows well in an area, and they are founded on good health. So it's there for the taking. Unfortunately, we've shifted and made this move, and it's happened all over the world as well. It's not just Africa, but a shift to processed Western foods that are easier and that are marketed well. So it's a way to get back to better health. It's there. The knowledge is there. The cultures are there that have produced these diverse diets. So it's there for the taking. That's not to say it's going to be easy. Change isn't easy. But it ticks that box so quickly. Good health. And it's not that we say diets shouldn't change. We can bring in foods from elsewhere and enrich, but the basis should be those traditional diets, African foods for the diet. But it also addresses issues like climate change and so on, because a lot of those foods grow and are more adapted to variable climates. I think it's a powerful rallying call for governments. And I mean, the beauty of it, it also relates to identity, because it relates to culture. It relates to a lot of the things that are being eroded by modern living. Sure, there are good sides to modern life, but a lot of that identity side, I think, in Africa has been undermined by the colonial experience, and it has been continued to be undermined by a kind of development agenda that is very Western oriented. And I think there are many strands, but I think this is a way that African governments can help define an African development agenda. And food is so central to all our lives that it's a rallying call for all sorts of things, culture as well, and so on. So everybody eats, so it's incredibly powerful.